Welcome back to the special edition, the launch edition of Tools for the Trade. Third episode with Mike Greene. This episode, we're looking at how, again, a small word, but crikey, so many answers to it. How do you grow your construction company? Mike, welcome back. Little word, but crikey, where do we start? We've got training, we've got investment. We'll look at it in a minute, subcontractors against employees. But where would you advise people watching this to start with how? Yeah. Is it investment in yourself and then your team?
Absolutely. But when you were first doing the intro there, one of the things I was thinking is, I went to a school that was once by an eminent Cambridge psychologist called a demonised depository for social waste. So it was a shit school and she was calling us social waste. And so for a while I was against learning. But then I got really excited about it because I learned if I learned a new skill, I could improve, I could earn more money. And so to me, the first thing is, and the cliches of the past are often based on sort of laws of learning from old wives' tales or family stories. And to me, things like don't reinvent the wheel. You don't need to do something completely different. Look at someone who's already done it. Can I emulate someone who's different, better, best compared to me? And copy what they did to get it, which is about learning, but it's not sitting at a desk necessarily. It might be on YouTube. It might be watching like your channel and getting some things and thinking differently. It might be reading a book. They might say, I don't like reading, but there's Audible. Hell, I can even listen to it on 2 times speed if I want to, kind of thing. And struggle with my voice at 2 times speed, but because I speak quickly. But you've got to invest in yourself. Often you'll hear, if people ever read or listened to Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, yeah. Great book, 40 years old, still doing stuff now. He's on social media and so on. But one of the things he says is only ever invest in appreciating assets, not depreciating assets. Now, a lot of traders will, I bought my van, I don't know anything on my van. I think, why the fuck would you tie up 20 or 30 grand? You could do that on £1,000 lease or £600 lease and have the money. And if I had the money, I'd invest in an appreciating asset. The best appreciating asset that you could possibly invest in is yourself. Because if you invest in yourself and you learn more, you can earn more. If you get different skills, you can apply those skills and you can do things more effectively, more productively. You can employ better people because understanding that, you get what you pay for in that sense. So many people, the biggest single first investment is not that they miss is not investing in themselves.
The big question then is, how do you know what bit, because as people, we're very poor at analysing ourselves. So that my time management poor, my time on the computer is poor. I'm not very good with clients. How do I put a contract together, payment schedule work? Is that where you need to take, as we said in previous episodes, take that step back, pause, and then think, look, I'm rubbish on emails. That's something I need to look at.
Well, the first thing I'd say is don't ask your mum or dad because they love you unconditionally. And, we'll go to them and say, I'm really tired, it's tough. I know, son, give us a cuddle kind of thing. I am known as a bare knuckle mentor, and part of that is because I'll have a bit of a chat and I'll say, do you really believe that shit? I mean, look, we know it. We know it. I work really hard, but I'm in the pub on at 3 o'clock on a Friday, and I don't work Sundays. It's like, really? I used to say I will do today what others will not, so I can live tomorrow as others cannot. And I was unreasonable in my work ethic. That allowed me to retire at 46, never having to work again, knowing my kids would never have to work if they didn't want to. I lasted 9 months and then I wanted to work because I realised I missed it, I loved it. And my kids both have a work ethic because they want to do it for themselves. They don't want to be dependent on me. But I had the choice not to work. That changes your brain then. And then you want to do it because you're not a slave to it as such. But, be honest with yourself. Do you always set the alarm and get up when you're supposed to? Do you get distracted by endless social media or do you focus on the bloody job? Mm-hmm. Are you having a couple too many beers the night before you've got to be somewhere early tomorrow? Now, I like a drink as much as the rest of them, but if you cannot get some self-bloody discipline, which is a basis of self-bloody respect, and people say, oh, but I'm in a dark place, Mike. Well, light some fucking candles. Wow. Or if you're really down and depressed about it, go and get some help. If one of your tools weren't working, you'd either buy a new one or you'd get it fixed. If your car weren't working, you'd take it to a mechanic. If you feel you're in a depression, go and get some help. It's serious shit. But if it's just whinging, having a moan, having a pity party, have a word with yourself. Wake up, buck up, and do what you need to do to get the job done. Because once it's done forever. If you put some investments with the money you make from selling a business. And there is no better sector to be in than trades. There are people who have had basic education, tough upbringings, been abused in their upbringing, and built life-changing, world-changing sums of money, wealth, and choices, and changed future generations of their family. But you can't do it lying to yourself. So often it's that honest conversation. Am I lazy? Am I clever enough? And if I'm not, can I employ someone else to do that bit, or do I need to learn? I don't like learning. Well, you don't like doing many things, but fucking do it or stay broke.
Yeah.
And my mentor would say to me, stay broke, Mike. And he might say things like, Mike, have you done what we said about last month? And I'd say, oh, I've been busy. I didn't ask how fucking busy you've been, Mike. I expect you to be busy. Have you done what we said? Oh, I've done most of it. Oh, God, he said, how much? I say 90%. And he'd say, Mike, if I taught you to cross a raging river 100% of the time safely without any risk, and you only did it 90%, what's going to happen? He says, I'm going to drown. He says, yeah, then when you go to heaven or hell, wherever you're going, you'd say to him, that fucking Stuart don't know what he's talking about. It was his fault. It weren't my fault. It's because you know what you needed to do and you didn't do it. Buck up, shape up, learn what you need to learn or get someone else's help. But you are where you are based on choice, your choice. Yeah. You're choosing to be where you are. And I used to hate it when my mentor said that. But I realized if I wanted to be somewhere different, if I wanted to live different, have different choices, I need to do something different. If you want some different things in your life, do some different things in your life. Because if you keep doing what you're doing, you'll keep getting what you're getting. Don't be stupid. Be honest. Look in the mirror and be someone that could make your nan proud, your kids proud, your grandkids talk about, I only knew my granddad for a couple of years, but he was amazing. He always had time and he helped change our lives.
It's good advice. If you are watching this and you want to expand or improve yourself, every word Mike said, take it on board. Now, I'm going to ask Mike the $1 million question. I've had this, I was going to say, discussion with loads of the lads and lasses over the years. Subbies or employees on the books?
So the easy answer is both. But I would only recommend subbies to bridge between affording the next employee or for one-off projects where there's a blip in your workload. Yeah. If you'll always need 2 engineers or 2 salespeople or something, employ them. To sub it out is a bit like saying, yeah, I will marry you one day, but can you give me a shag for now, if I can be blunt? I mean, where's the commitment in that? You're not committing to them, and you're doing it because it's safe and there's no risk. But then you expect commitment from them. And we all know what happens. The minute someone offers them 20 quid a day more, they're gone. And why shouldn't they? Because you didn't commit to them. You want them on no risk, no bloody commitment, give you everything, but I give you just today. I'm not going to promise you tomorrow. I'm not going to promise you next week. If you want to get the best out of people and you want their commitment, give them your commitment.
That's really good advice. And finally, episode next week, we're going to summarize everything in pretty much 10-12 minutes. Mike is going to go through everything we've covered the first 3 episodes, but also give you some top tips, key points to take away. So hopefully watching the end of this, you go, right, time for change. I'm now going to take on board everything Mike has said, and I'm going to improve myself and the company.